a creative agency in the US called Boone and Oakley, and what they did was, instead of having a typical website, they built they uploaded a video about what their company was all about, and on YouTube. And they really made use of the fact that YouTube allows you to have embedded links on the video, and it's something which really caught on. This video is among the most popular videos was among the most popular videos on YouTube like a year back or something, right? So just the point here is that there is a lot of experimentation which is happening. People are going beyond the traditional ways to do a site, and in this case, the entire site is a video on YouTube. So it's we spoke of the essential technical aspects of any Web 2.0 site when we spoke of mashups or wiki or user generated content, etc. When people talk about Web 2.0, they also talk about it being a philosophy which is based on user-centric design and enabling user interactivity and user sharing. And these are some examples of Indian sites which which really don't get this, right? So this is the example of this is the MTNL site, and anyone, if you go to the site, you don't know what's happening. So there's so much of clutter. It's very difficult to actually come and do something on the site. In 5 minutes. This is a personal example. This is Hathway, and I tried to pay something on hathway.com, and this is after you log in, you really have to search for the Pay Now tab. And these are error messages. Not really. This is not a part of Web 2.0 design, but just wanted to make a point that even on the website, the error messages that you show, the kind of headings that the tabs have, it's very important that a lot of thought is given to all these things. This is the 70mm.com site, and if you go to the site, there is for existing users, it's very difficult to find where you need to click, so that you can log in. Right. So those are just examples of Indian businesses which were ignoring some very basic aspects of usability. And so what's really happening is there are a lot of apart from new businesses who want to obviously build a site to announce a presence, there are a lot of older traditional companies who want to completely revamp their style, revamp their websites and look and look more of and have a Web 2.0 kind of a presence. So I'd just like to ask Chaya, so do you see a lot of requests being made for sites of this nature? And do you typically, when people ask you for proposals, or do they typically know all these things and ask you specifically to build such kind of sites?
Yeah, in fact, we do get a lot of requests that I do want to use Web 2.0 technology, but the client is not very aware as to what exactly Web 2.0 technology is, and that becomes a very big challenge usually, because there are so many misunderstandings, there are so many assumptions being made. That becomes a challenge, but clients are definitely want to put up a presence wherein they are recognized as being in pace with technology. So they do not want a site that is very redundant. They want to have the features that is going to work with their current audience.
Right.
Then how to address it is another challenge altogether.
Right.
So as people who want to get into this business, it's very important to understand it very clearly, very well. Do research on the web. On the web itself, you get all the answers to your questions. And then you can always, even if a client is saying that I want Web 2.0 technology, you can give him the relevant stuff within that Web 2.0 which works. Today, whatever is being built, actually, almost everybody is only doing Web 2.0.
Right.
So, that's what I like to say.
Yeah, it's also among the most commonly used buzzwords. Like
Yeah.
Web 2.0, people just love to use the word, but yeah, not many understand what that means. And the 4 or 5 aspects that we mentioned in the beginning, the tech aspects, that's what really defines a Web 2.0 site, right? That's why we got it in the beginning. So if you look at the web design market in India and the companies who are in that, would you say that you can categorize them into some layers, right? So,
Yeah, actually, yes, indeed, there are, the way we see it, and maybe, there could be other classifications, but for us, we really see 3 different types of companies. Ones which are very creatively and design led, and we do a lot of brand interfacing, something like what BC WebWise would be. Then there are these other companies which are extremely technology intensive, technology driven. These are also web development companies, and of course they might be as big as TCS and Wipro, etc. And they would be doing websites for online banking. Okay, sites for Bombay Stock Exchange, which would be very high-end technology driven, very high-end security driven. And the third, also close to the technology areas, e-commerce specialists. Because when you build a site like Amazon, you need to not have your shopping catalogs that are seamless, working extremely well. You need to be extremely user driven. That's another specialization altogether. So these are the 3 classifications.
right. Yeah, so these are some basics. Some of them might look very basic, but it's important that we speak about them. The first one is to have a clear design goal. So when you're when you get a brief from a client, how do you arrive at the goal of the website design?
Okay, it's easier said than done, but the endeavor is to be as original as possible and innovate, because the web does allow you to just be completely out of the box. It's because it is technology driven. At the same time, that technology itself sometimes is challenging, because only when you see it, oh, I could have done this too. So one of our goals is to be as innovative as possible. It's not easy. It's not like we've done some kick-ass stuff, but that's where we want to go. The other is relevancy. When we get a brief, how relevant is it to the client and to the end user who's going to actually experience your product? Right. So, you have to set goals in terms of relevancy. What kind of call of action does the user need to take? And the third is as simple as loading time, and which can get completely missed time and again, especially by design and creative driven people. So that's very critical. If you think your product is going to take a lot of time to load, then what are you going to do to make them wait? That's also fine. You could do gimmicks even to make somebody wait. So
right. Yeah, and the means are as important as the end, and we spoke of the importance of usability in the previous slides. Yeah, and websites, especially the for example, if you take any corporate website, they have a diverse target audience, and what a lot of website design and a lot of creative companies do is to research in detail what their users are all about, which include maybe talking to a few potential users and understand how they what are their preferences, why would they visit your site. So it's really important to have a good picture of what your users look like, right? Right, and it's also important to have a detailed site map, right? And it's, you should not have too many sections, otherwise, site would seem harder to navigate. You should just have the right kind of right number of things on your site map, right? So testing is something which a lot of design companies don't pay attention to. One, because it may seem boring, and so stuff like as simple as browser testing, like cross-browser testing, it's so important, and it can really result to a lot of dissatisfaction when you.
Yeah, yes, I think this is a very, very important point. And agencies like us, which probably started in this business, you can say pretty early, today are realizing the importance of this, and we would urge every new person to ensure that testing is a part of their development process. Definitely browser testing, very basic, gets ignored very often than not. The other is, quality checks. After you've done a page, it's even simple things like spellings, get completely ignored. We have seen things like the user flow. You might have developed something like, say, a registration form or a blog form, and you might have done things in a particular way because of the way in which the HTML page design came to you. Then the backend has done it, but when you're actually going to use it, the user doesn't even know where to click to probably edit the content, etc. We have ourselves experienced it, and we experience it till today. Sometimes things get launched without testing. Deadline is there, we have to put it up, so it just gets done overnight. Somebody worked, and everybody has reasons, everybody has excuses, but ultimately, whatever work you did, if it did not get tested, if it, it's not going to work, it's the client is freaking out on you, and you've not done the job. The user's gone away. So usability testing, very critical. Quality checks, extremely critical. And browser testing, extremely critical. These are always big alarm bells that go off after the site is launched, and you have 1 week of crisis. And so yeah, this is a very, very important slide. I think one of the most important slides in this, that every developer, every designer needs to ensure that this is happening.
I've actually been through a few horror stories here, and some examples where the designer worked on Mozilla all the while, on the site, and he realized that more than 70% of the world uses Internet Explorer, and the site is not working well on IE. So
yeah, we recently had an experience wherein we tested on all the browsers, but we did not test on the browsers on a Mac. Okay, so on a Mac, Tahoma, Vardhana are fonts that do not get, and the HTML guys said it's going to take us a week, it's going to take us 10 days, we don't know what is wrong on Mac, it's not working. Fortunately, there was somebody, it was such a simple issue, somebody realized, oh my god, no, this font, so within about 5 minutes, he corrected it, and it got resolved.
Right. So yeah, going forward,